or I've tried to make this video so many times and I keep making it way too long and going over time and just trailing off. And I want to tell the whole story, but it'll literally take for freaking ever if I do it. So to sum it up, all right, I've mentioned some things on my Twitter, which I'm gonna link this video to. So I don't. I'm just gonna have to give you a short summary and just explain why I need help, what I need help doing. So the shortest way possible I can say it. Okay, so I got introduced to drugs young. I wish I could take it back, but I can't. So my sister and her boyfriend introduced me to drugs when I was like 12. I never became an addict till I was about 23. And I was an addict for 5 years. Five and a half years. And then during that time, right when I first became addicted, I met my ex. And my ex fiance, she had 3 kids. Around in the summer of 2012. And she decided to stay with me. She found out I was a user. And then I couldn't really get the help. I tried getting help, tried dropping hints to my parents, and they wouldn't know what to do to help me. So I just kind of existed for years, just day to day, trying to just manage my addiction. But so after 5 years of shit just going bad to worse and being out of options, and before that, my parents were a construction family. Like my dad was a carpenter, contractor. We were a construction family. He had issues before that where he gave up carpentry, started excavating. They put like their life savings or a lot of it into buying a dump truck that was a lemon. There's no lemon law in commercial vehicles. So they lost out on this dump truck like crazy, like $100,000 or more. They put a bunch of money down, and then they were making payments on it. Eventually, the people wouldn't work with them because there's no lemon law on commercial vehicles. So they parked the truck at the people's dealership and with the keys in it, and they walk away from it. And then the creditors came after them for years afterwards, and they were going to try to get a lawyer and everything. They were really upset about it. They felt really wronged, and they were. And my dad had let his carpentry license go, which he had bought and never took the test for, and was grandfathered in. Then he had to retake the test. Took him 6 tries because he kept erasing on the Scantron. He wasn't erasing good enough. He found out later he didn't know that it would mark, if he didn't erase well enough, it'd mark the answer, 2 answers, mark it wrong. After 6 tries, he passed the test, got back into contracting. So he did contracting, carpentry, contracting when I was a kid. 7 years off, he was a dump truck driver. So when he dropped that other dump truck off and gave it up after putting his life savings into it, he leased another dump truck and did that for 6 years. Barely hanging on, barely keeping bills paid. He had to borrow money from my grandma at one point to take care of us. So, and then he got back into carpentry. So everything got good again. Over time, things got good, got money again, built a house and sold it, made some money. And then the recession hit, housing market crashed, sold off everything. He had some savings. Me and everyone anyone else who was just a regular worker was screwed. So I'm pretty much screwed from the time of I turned 18 in 2006, the end of 2006, 2007, housing market crash, recession kicks in at the end of 2007. So then I moved with them. We went all over. They went all over the country to work. I worked rinky-dink part-time job here and there. That sucked, making like $100 a week or something. I've tried to make this video multiple times. If I go down all those trails, I made a really long video that's like 2 hours, and I had to just finally had to cut it off because I'm like, God, there's no way I could play this. No one's gonna listen to this. So, anyways, by 2012, I'm like 4 years into the recession. Obama's being elected a second time. I did have a job at the time, but things weren't going good. I was not going good at the job. Things weren't going good in my life. I tried hard drugs for the first time. I was doing Dilaudid, and I tried it a few times, and I was like, okay, I'll just do it like once every couple of weeks. I'll be okay. It got to the point where I was doing it once a week, and I met this girl, and I was still trying to maintain, not because I was weary. I'm like, I don't want to become an addict. And me and her start dating, and we moving in together, and the whole long story it leads up to that. But anyways, her friend she was staying with loses her lease, so we're all moving into this one house together. Me and her start having issues just after being together a few months. I start doing drugs more and more. I find out about morphine. I'm doing morphine, Dilaudid, stuff like that. And then one day, I'm getting them real cheap. And then one day, they run out. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get this deal again. It was like a one-time thing. And I was like, well, no big deal. I need to take a break anyways. And then after 2 days of not doing anything, I'm like, oh, I start feeling like shit. I'm like, oh my God, oh no, this is what dope sickness feels like. I always look down on people for dope sickness. Oh, you can't fucking lay off drugs long enough not to get fucking addicted? What kind of retard are you? Just don't do them every day for weeks, And I had done them like every few days, and then for a week I did them every day. And I'd been doing them like every few days for like a couple months, and it got away from me. And it got to the point where I was like, I have to go get something. I can't go to work feeling like this. So I went as soon as I could and got something. And from there on out, I had to have something to not be dope sick. And what I should have done is I should have weaned off very slowly from there. And I wasn't smart enough to do that. But I kind of felt, I was like, I'm all the way in it now. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I felt really shitty. I've never felt that way before. But if I was smart, I would have, like, very, very slowly weaned off. And I fucking blew that. And then once you're doing it for months and years, you're really bad off. You're getting sick every day. So, I did that. I had one little break where I went to Tennessee because I was out of work. I had to do something. And my sister helped me. She was getting Suboxone. She's going through a clinic and all this. And they're giving, that's back, they used to give them like 3 8-milligram tablets or strips a day. So she had enough to spare. And I came up here where I'm at now, and I got clean and worked for like 6 months. And then I told my ex, I said, I don't want it. And I ended up getting a good job for the last 3 months I was here. The first 3 months I worked for a guy I met through day labor. He dicked me over, ended up owing me $1,465, $1,500. Was screwing around and not wasn't getting paid by him. He claimed he wasn't getting paid. He's selling off his tools. I don't know what happened. I don't know if that guy got mixed up with drugs or what, but I finally had to find another job. I heard about another job on Craigslist. Got that job doing construction. So anyways, I told my ex at the time, who I was with at the time, told my old lady, I'm like, I'm not ready to come back. The job I was doing ended. So I worked with them. I was doing making $12 an hour, but getting massive like overtime, getting like 25 hours a week overtime. And they were paying it, and it was good money. I was getting like $1,000 a week checks. I've never made that money in my life before. And when that came to an end, and they laid us off, because it was only a temporary job, anyways. We were building a mill. I was working with millwrights and iron workers. I was a helper, so I told her I'm not ready to come back. I said, I'm not ready to come back. I don't think I'd be able to. I said, what I want to do is I want to give my mom some money to hold on to. I want to get ready in my mind and prepared to go back. I'm not ready to go back. I figure she knew what I meant. Like, I don't know if I can do what's right when I come back. I had no idea what I was going to do for Suboxone, if I was going to join a clinic or find someone to get them from. And she guilt tripped me into coming back. And was like, okay, like, I glad to see where your priorities are or whatever. And my priorities were right. And I shouldn't have fucking let her do that to me. But I did. I went back to Florida, and the first thing I did was get high as soon as I got back. Got right back to my old shit, and a few years later, things got bad to where there was nothing else I could do but to come back to Tennessee. So I had only been up here for like 6 months that one time. So I moved back up here. I said, I'm going to do it right this time. Went and got in a clinic myself. Went to the doctor. I'm legally taking rehabilitation, like medicine. That's what Suboxone is for most people who know what that is. And I'm going to work. Got a job at McDonald's. I'm clean off drugs. So I only started doing drugs because I'd given up on life. I'd broken up with my other girlfriend, broke up with me a couple years before. There was no good outlooks in life. The recession. Couldn't find decent girlfriend or anyone wife material. My job was treating me like shit. My friend helped me get the job. Wasn't being a good friend. He was trying to get me fired every day. I was doing everything right. And it was just a weird situation. This little short Mexican guy. It was just a crazy, it'd take me forever to explain it to you. But there was no prospects for life at that point. And I wasn't going to church. And that's another thing. Is like my parents brought me up in church up till a certain age and then moved me out to the middle of nowhere. My sister, right before that, took us out of Christian school. Didn't make sure there was a good church where we lived. Didn't teach us anything about God. Didn't read the Bible to us, didn't pray with us, didn't do anything like that. I was always a believer in Christ, but I never did what a believer would do. Didn't go to church regularly, didn't read the Bible, didn't do that. I just believed God was real. I generally knew what the story of the Bible was. So then, okay, so I moved to Tennessee, saving up money from McDonald's. My old lady at the time tells me you should be a truck driver. They always need truck drivers. You can live in your truck. You can make a lot of money. We can get our shit figured out. You should be a truck driver. So I was working at McDonald's, and I'm like, I'm gonna figure out this truck driver thing. And I hear a advertisement on the radio, and we'll pay to train you. So I look into that company. I asked my parents, my dad, if he'd drive me to training, and he's like, no, I can't do that. And I thought he would help me because he was like saying he would help me do this and that, and he was like, I can't take you there every day, drop you off, and pick you up. And he's like retired, so I didn't think it'd be a big deal. He's like, you need to save up your money and get a car. So I saved up my money and got a car. I was sending money back to my old lady, I asked her before I left, I was like, are we gonna stay together? What's up? And my mom called her and asked behind my back, was like, if you're not gonna stay with him, tell me. But if you are, let me know, so we know what to expect. And she said, oh no, I'm sticking it out. And then after like 6 months of me sending money and her being kind of cold and this and that, and I wasn't sending, I was holding back some money because I didn't want to send every penny if she's not saving up for a vehicle. So I was saving up for a vehicle. And I thought if she knew that, there's a chance she might be upset that I'm not sending her more money. Well, anyways, she ends up breaking up with me like over a damn like email. So I was like really upset and like really depressed. There's a lot more to that story, but anyways, she broke up, and I should have said fuck her. I should have went and lived my life and moved on and made money and stayed good and found a decent person. But I ended up forgiving her. I didn't talk to her for months. I went to truck driving school. I got my CDL. I started driving a truck. And I saw that she unblocked me on Facebook. And I was like, why'd you unblock me? You should have just kept me blocked. I don't even want the opportunity to fucking talk to you. And she was like, she texted me back, you just don't stop, do you? And she started talking to me again. Well, I found out after she broke up with me that she hooked up with my friend, started dating him, and he basically used her and fucking used her car, and it broke down, and they weren't like putting oil in it. It was like this piece of shit. Her fucking dumbass. So I ended up talking to her. We ended up reconciling, and I basically said if she could forgive me for being a piece of shit for 5 years, she stuck by me while I was a drug addict and this and that I would forgive her and for what she did. And I just looked at it that way. So we got a place up here in Tennessee. She found a trailer for like $1,000 a month. I went, rented a U-Haul trailer, borrowed my dad's truck, moved them up here. Now, when I lived here, there was very little options for me to stay where I could stay in the house. So I ended up telling my dad, because he has a big king-size bed, and my mom had her own room. I said, I could just stay in the bedroom with you, if you don't mind. I'll sleep on the other side of the bed. And there was like 2 mattresses put together to make it a king-size. He's like, sure, you can stay in here. I was like, it's either that or I sleep on the couch. Or I sleep downstairs where my nephew's like play area was. And I was like, I'd rather just stay in the bed with you. I like watching TV before I go to sleep. We'll watch westerns, whatever. So I bunked with my dad for 6 months. It was pretty awesome though. I thought it was a funny situation, but I thought it was pretty cool. Knowing that he passed away 2 years later, or was it? No, not 2 years later. He passed away 3.5 years later. But I was like, man. He laughed about it later though. He was like, "Oh, never thought that would have happened," you know. But it's like, gotta do what you gotta do. So I roomed with my dad for 6 months while my parents helped me get back on my feet, fix my life. And then I moved in with the old lady. So when I started truck driving, I was with the trainer, got in my own truck, and I said, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to worry about eating super healthy and I'm not going to worry about gaining a few pounds. I'm just going to drive my ass off, make as much money as I can, and fucking be a boss in life. We're going to save some money up. We're going to buy some nice furniture or whatever. We're going to figure things out, get a vehicle. Ended up buying a truck. Oh, I was making payments on a truck anyways. Got a truck from buy here, pay here, paying like $500 a month for it. Way too much for it, like 28% interest, or it was like 23%, something, 23, 28%. It was outlandish, but if I paid it off early, I could save a boatload of interest, and which was my plan, and it never happened. So anyways, I go to work, and I'm not worried about. So when I moved here, I was like 250 pounds. I was doing stucco with this bunch of illegals. And they quit picking me up. I had a falling out with them. Long crazy story of them. One of them threw stucco, hit me in the eye, and joking around, and that's how we had our falling out. Because I was like, I went and took a picture of the permit board, so if I go blind, I'm fucking suing somebody, and they're like ready to beat my ass over that. And they quit picking me up for work for like a couple weeks, even though they're the ones who like almost blinded me. Anyways, so I weighed 250 pounds when I moved here. And I didn't weigh myself for like 2 years. Two and a half years, I never weighed myself. And I thought, well, if I gain like 30, 40 pounds, no big deal. I'll lose it back. I've gotten on the Atkins diet, gone to the gym. I've lost weight before after I gained a little bit, or even gained a lot. So I weigh myself. 2.5 years go by, I started having problems with my leg. My legs start swelling up real big. I ended up in the hospital for 6 days. IV antibiotics, both legs swollen. Had cellulitis in both legs. So then I the nurse came in. The doctor tried to tell me, oh, you need to start wrapping your legs with ace bandages at night before you go to sleep. Like, what? Are you crazy? And the nurse came in after she walked out, and he's like, you don't need to do all that. The guy, he even gave me ace bandages to take home. She's like, you don't need to do all that. You need to just wear compression socks. So 9 months after started truck driving, after this happened, I'm in the hospital. She tells me to buy compression socks. I go online, buy compression socks. I never had the issue again while I was truck driving. Well, I never ended up back in the hospital. I did have issues. My legs got infected a couple times, but I ended up healing them without ending up back in the hospital. So 2.5 years go by. I get on a scale, and I'm 377 pounds. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm heavier than I've ever been in my life. And I didn't just put on like 40 or 50 pounds. I put on 127 fucking pounds. That's insane. It's like I knew I was heavy. I felt heavy. I looked fatter, but I never thought. I thought, okay, 60 pounds, maybe. At the most, 80 pounds. Okay, maybe I put on like 80 pounds. That's a lot, but it's manageable. But no, almost another 50 on top of that. So I went, immediately started dieting. I lost quite a bit. I lost like 60 pounds. And I've been kind of hovering that area for a long time. But anyway, so for 4 years, once I started truck driving, I was like 4 years out of doing hard labor. I lost most of the strength I had, gained a bunch of weight, had a hernia, got a hernia in my stomach from gaining so much weight, probably so quickly. And I was drinking energy drinks. I was eating microwavable food, eating out, or fast food. I tried to stay away from fast food too much. I just buy like a bunch of microwavable food at Sam's Club, and I was just drinking regular soda. I wasn't drinking diet soda because I don't like to mix diet soda with regular food. It tastes like crap. So then I worked on that. My teeth started bugging me. I started getting real sensitive. So I was starting to buy this like crown filler, temporary crown and filling replacement. I'm stuffing it in the cracks or the pits of my teeth. And then me and my ex, she finally leaves me walks away for the last time after our lease was up and we were renting month to month, and our landlord says, "Hey, I'm sold my house. I'm moving in to your place. Y'all got 30 days notice." I was like, "Damn, dude, I wish you would have gave us like 60 or 90 days notice or something, we've been renting on time for 3 years, been pretty good landlord or pretty good tenants." He'd been a crappy landlord, like not fixing the air conditioning right and shit like that. He said he had no choice. I was a little pissed. I told him, I was like, "I can't believe you didn't give us more time." He's like, "I didn't have more time." So we find a place. This is after COVID. This is 2021, February. We find a place. And ends up being... Oh, she ended up finding a temporary place to go. And I move all our shit out into a storage area, and she's like, "This place I'm staying, they're letting me stay here for now, but they said we could have it for $4K a month." I was like, "I'm not paying $4K a month." It was in Gatlinburg. I'm like, "I'm not fucking paying. That's insane." Well, we can make it work, and we can live good. I want to live good for a change. And I'm like, "I'm not paying $4,000 a month for rent. I'm not doing it." And she's like, "Well, I'll figure it out then." And she's like, I guess broke up with me. So I'm like, I went and stayed with my parents, and I went and got all my shit out of storage, separated from their stuff. She didn't talk to me for like a month, and I was like, well, if she moves on, finds another boyfriend, whatever, I'm not gonna get upset on it. She ends up talking to me. So she caught COVID, and we kind of like reconcile, and I had got in with a different truck company, and then she's like, "Well, I gotta be out of this place." So we'll find a place. The cheapest place I can get is like $1,600 for a two. I can't even remember. It was either a 2 or 3 bed. I think it was a 2-bedroom. A 2-bedroom apartment for like $1,680 or something. So we get that. I moved pretty much by myself. Everything. I'm like way out of shape, overweight. Move the whole place myself. I get a U-Haul truck. She's got 3 sons that are both like all almost like 15, 16, and 18, or almost 18. They're really not good at helping. They're all video game nuts. And so I move us. She tells me on my first break home, she's like, you probably shouldn't come here. Our air is broken. It's like, you might want to stay on the truck. And I was like, yeah, I get hot easy. So I'm like, nah, I don't want to fucking be miserable. And she's, so then later on, she's like, hey, I just think we need to split up. Like, or this, you haven't even been to our apartment once. I said, yeah, I got one break in 1 month to come back. You told me not to come home because the air conditioner was broken and I would be miserable. Now I'm on the road again. Like, what the hell? And she's like, well, we haven't seen each other in like 6 weeks or whatever. I'm like, because of you. You told me, and they wouldn't let me park my truck at the place. I was going to do it anyways, but she was like, you just stay at your parents' house with the truck. And I was like, so what's your deal? Like, I'm not doing this shit with you no more. And she's like, well, you already got all your shit. So I think my mom or someone had said, well, Rich and Ari got all this stuff from storage. So he's like, oh, you already got all this stuff storage. So this is after we started talking again. We've been together 8 years at this point, with like 1 3-month break where she started fucking someone else and then got dumped by him. Whatever, my fucking friend. So anyways, she's going back and forth with me, and she's like, well, I already started talking to someone else. I'm like, well, okay, that's what it is. You should have led with that. I was like, all right, whatever. And then while I was on the road, like fucking, I think it was near like, maybe Kansas or something, Oklahoma, Iowa, I don't know. She shuts my phone off, changes all the passwords to all the streaming services and everything. And then I already got all my shit moved out from theirs, separated from theirs, because I wasn't trusting her. She's being wacky and everything. So I move home, or stay with my parents. I was upset at first because I was like, I've gone through all this shit. I've been with her for 8 years with a break in between, her fucking leaving me for my friend. Even though she tries, well, I know I broke up with you and then I got, like, whatever. Fucking lying piece of shit. And now she's seeing talking to some new guy and leaving me, whatever, dude. I fucking moved her into a new apartment up, I can't remember if it was 3 or 4 flights of stairs. I moved everything myself. Actually with my sister and my mom and dad's help. But mostly me, but me and my sister carrying shit up and down the stairs, or all the way up the stairs. I was like, I went through all this work. We should have just stayed broken up. Why did she start talking to me again? Because she fucking needed me. That's probably why. I went through all this work. I went out of my way, did all this shit. I paid for months of rent. Now I got this abandoning apartment on my record. And she's fucking breaking up with me again. So anyways, I was upset. She had 3 kids. I was close to her. I'd like to say, like, I cared about her kids. I'd known them for 8 years. Watching them grow up, wasn't a perfect like stepfather figure. But anyways, cried about it one time and then moved on. I was like, talking to my sister about it and like saying, like, I shouldn't be sad about this. I should not be sad about this. I should not waste another minute feeling bad about this. This is a good thing. There's no way this was ever going to work. So I got over it. I started having problems with my times at work doing trucking. So I started having problems with my legs and gained a lot of weight. Got slow. I think I always had slight sleep apnea that fluctuated with however much I weighed. So once I put on a lot of weight, it got really bad. So now I got really bad obstructive sleep apnea. Sleeping like shit. I got on a CPAP machine, trying to get used to that. Things got a little shitty at a couple different truck companies. So I had to move to a different truck company because I'm trying to support my family. So I end up at a thought I heard somebody. So I ended up at leaving this last company, and I'm like, I gotta figure my shit out. I gotta get healthier, and I gotta fix whatever's going on with my teeth. Teeth were really bugging me then. I know I gotta have some crowns or fillings or whatever. So then I get this dental work done. They talk me into getting a full crown restoration. That's why my teeth are freaking beautiful. So I paid $35,000 for my teeth. And then I did some work around the house. And I was on my feet for a few days. I didn't sleep good a couple days. My legs started swelling, even with the compression socks on. Well, I took them off a couple days because I was working and doing some things. I thought maybe I was moving around not to need them too much. But my legs got really red. I think I started to get cellulitis. My legs got really red and I got sore on my foot. And the sore went from small to huge, like a big blister. And it just opened up like a big blister. And then it turned into this really bad venous ulcer. And it took me 9 months to get that healed. I tried to heal it on my own for 8 months and it wouldn't heal. And I ran out of money. I'm doing food delivery. I'm not making very much. My foot is exuding, draining, weeping, whatever you call it, filling my shoe with fluid. And I'm changing bandages every day. It's when it dried out, it would hurt. So I'd put like Vaseline or whatever on it, or Neosporin to keep it moist, and it'd be draining onto the pillow. I'm elevating it. I don't know how to deal with chronic wounds. So eventually, after like 7 months, my mom's like, I was like, if I can heal this and get back to work truck driving, I'll be good. I can pay for insurance. I can, get back on my feet. I'll figure things out. I'll be able to pay insurance. I got a hernia too, so I was like, I can get hernia surgery. But I couldn't get past this, and I thought, well, maybe my parents would help me. They helped me with my teeth, and I could pay. I knew once I get back to truck driving, I could pay them back easily. But they were, I don't know, they were like, wanted me to try to get help somehow without them having to pay, and they knew if they offered to pay that they would be like probably charged a lot. So they finally had me help me figure out this charity organization. And I didn't have any money. I maxed my credit cards out. So I go through this charity organization. They ended up paying for everything. And so I'm home like okay, so I started going to the wound management. My foot's healing. They said it would take 3 to 4 months. It took 9 months. So on the 8th month, and it's getting really close to healing, my dad has an aneurysm, and he dies a week later. My dad was going to help me get back on the road and become a truck driver, be a truck driver again. He's going to help me, pay to get my endorsements back, renew my license, be able to have food to eat and have gas and whatever I needed to go to orientation, be able to survive for a couple weeks, pay my phone bill. He's going to help me with all that because I was working when I could, but it was hard because I had to take it easy on my foot, or my foot would drain too much and it wasn't healing fast enough. And it's hard to work with my foot messed up like that. More than a few hours a day or even every day. So, and I was like helping do yard work as much as I can, like a little here and there. My dad would do the riding mower and I would weed eat and stuff. And it got to the point where the doctor was like, don't even do yard work, do as little as possible because we want to get you healed. And I got an infection a few times. I think that was their fault. I think they were doing some weird shit. They were washing my wound with rags that they bleached and cleaned. I was like, why are y'all reusing rags and shit? Like, I figured they'd be using gauze and wound wash, and they're like washing my foot and wound with rags that they're reusing and using soap. And I'm like, oh. But they were like telling me be extra careful. And so, anyways, got to that point. My dad was gonna help me get back on track, and he passed away. And then my foot, the sore almost closed, and when he died, I don't know if it was stress or what, but it opened back up. And they were like, oh no, oh my, no. And then, the whole wound care, all the nurses, everyone were hugging me. They've, told them how my dad was in the hospital and then came back a week later and like, how's your dad? And I'm like, he died. And they're like feeling bad and crying in the room and hugging me. And anyways, my foot started opening up again. They're like, oh no. And so I ended up like being there another month or two longer than I planned. And I got out. So anyways, my mom told me I need to try to sign up for Marketplace Healthcare. That's Obamacare. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to do it. I ain't got no other choice. I hate Obamacare. I ain't got a choice. I had to get stomach surgery. So I was like, I'm going to get stomach surgery. And one thing my dad always said, he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. If I die, what y'all are going to do. I was like, if you die, I'm going to get my shit figured out and I will make sure everyone's okay. Well, I haven't been able to do that because I haven't been able to get my shit together. But I got the stomach surgery in March of last year. And I had to take it easy for 4 months. And he told me, he said, you don't lift more than 50 pounds. I said, for what, another few months? He said, forever. I was like, you don't want me to lift more than 50 pounds? I was like, I'm like 300 pounds. You want me to lift more than 50 pounds? I'm like in my mid 30s, or yeah, I was like 34 at the time. 34. Yeah, I think I was 34. No, my dad died. I turned 35. Right after he died, I turned 35. I was like, I'm 35, and I'm not even like doing truck driving right now. I might have to get a job at some point where I'm lifting more. He's like, yeah. So I was like, he's got to be just saying that to cover his ass. But anyways, so long story short, I'm like 4 years truck driving, going from hard labor to sitting for a living, doing like 14 hours a day work, sitting behind the wheel. And then I was 4 years laid up for most of the time. It's been 4 years now. Now is to the point where it's been 4 years from I quit truck driving, which is insane to me because I only wanted to be gone like 6 months or a year at most. I only wanted to be gone like 6 months from truck driving and get back to it. So last year, when it was only like three years at the time, I really started feeling like I am super tired after only doing a little work. I've lost so much muscle mass. I've lost all my endurance. I've lost all my energy. I mean, I'm just like worthless now. Things I used to do, I used to go mow the lawn and weed eat and everything. I could do it all in like 3 or 4 hours. And then I could go to work and I could go do anything. I can go, work out or go do a hard labor job or go deliver food for hours. Now I'm like, I do the yard work and I'm wiped out afterwards. So I did manage to pay for the gym for 3 months. You can do a 3-month deal for $120. I did that. I was able to do it for 2 months and I went there, and this is where I fucked up. I fucked up because I thought if I could put on some muscle mass back, that things would get easier. So I was hitting all the machines. I was working out pretty good, doing like 3 or 4 sets each of like 12 or 15 reps. All the machines and biceps, triceps, quads, calves, all that. I was doing everything I could. I was doing thighs, leg day, upper body. I was doing my back. I was doing sit-ups. And then each day I would go walk. I think I'd walk I would stretch the warm-up. I was going to say, sometimes I'd walk a few minutes to warm up. But I usually just stretch to warm up and maybe walk like 10 minutes to warm up. And then I would power walk 30 minutes at the end. And I never felt that much better. I did it for like 2 months, and then I had to take off the last month because I couldn't make time to go to the gym and make money and keep up with bills and everything. And work wasn't that good. I'm still delivering food. And it's not going well. And I still feel like shit. And I'm still falling behind on chores around the house. I'm still out of breath quick. I don't have any energy like I used to. So I was like thinking, I'm like, I fucked up somewhere. It's like what I should have done. 2 months should have been, if I'd done things different, should have been enough for me to feel better and get some stamina and some energy back. And I was like, I know what I did wrong. I should have been there. I should have been doing cardio for 3 hours a night, a few hours, or I should have been doing it 4 or 5 days a week, 5 days a week minimum, 3 hours a minimum of cardio every day. If I had done that, if I would have spent every minute there I was doing lifting weights and shit, doing cardio, I would have made the progress that I needed, that I wanted to see and that I needed to see to get better in life. And my legs would have gotten better. I talked to a vein doctor, and he said there's a good chance that my legs wouldn't heal completely, but I could make them significantly better if I got in significantly better health and better shape. And my circulation and everything would get better too. And it's not just on my legs. It's like my hands are red. They swell. I wake up with them swollen a lot. They've been a little better. I was off my diet for, they actually look a lot better. They're not nearly as bad now. But I was off my diet for a little bit, and they got really bad because I ran out of money to stay on my diet. So I'm like eating ramen noodles. I'm buying Taco Bell while I'm out. making money, doing a few deliveries, then buying Taco Bell. I'm cutting like Subway coupons, and I don't like to eat out, but I had no choice. I ran out of food and money, and I bought, some loaves of bread. I was making like using regular bread, making egg sandwiches, eating ramen noodles, stuff like that. Well, anyways, yeah, my hands got real big. I actually put on like 20 or 30 pounds. Now, I've been back on my diet for like a week and a half, and I lost like 20 pounds like that. So I'm back down to like two. I got up to almost like, or three, like almost like 349. I'm back down to like 229, 228. I think I weighed today. I've been hovering around like 308 to 316. So I need to get back down close to 300, but yeah, so I mean, I got circulation problems. I have no stamina. I have no energy. I get tired just from taking a shower, just from washing the dishes for too long. If I'm sweeping the floor, I'm doing yard work, my back hurts immediately. I've actually hurt my back. I was like strained my back a few times where I could barely move my back for days because I'm so out of shape. And I've tried walking, and some people tell me like, "Oh, you need to start walking every day." Well, if I walk a couple hours a day, and then I get completely drenched in sweat, or it gets sweaty, and I need to shower more, and then I get tired taking a fucking shower. That's how bad out of shape I am. And I know it's pathetic, but it sucks. And I gotta do laundry more. I'm so behind. All my clothes are like fucking faded, getting holes in them. My shorts. I've been sewing my shorts. I fucking sewed my shorts here. I don't even know if I can see it. Right there, I sewed my shorts. Everything's all faded and shit. I'm behind on my bills. So I just thought, it's another, like I'm like, I can't find the time to walk a couple hours and shower, stay clean, do my teeth, make food, stay on my diet, and go to work when I need to work, and sleep on a schedule I need to sleep on, and all that. That's why I had the idea. I wanted to sell the car, take that money, and live off that for like 2 or 3 months. And I'm going to work on the weekends as much as I can, but go to the gym and just walk 3 to 5 hours a day. I was going to probably say minimum 5 hours a day. Go power walk 5 hours a day, minimum 5 days a week. Work on the weekends. Take the money from the car and get me through most of the month, and then work the weekends to supplement me whatever I'm short on. And do that until I can get my energy back and lose weight. I want to get back down to like 250 minimum. Honestly, me with a normal amount of like body fat would probably be like 220. Probably like 220, 215, maybe close to 200. I'm 6'4.5" tall, almost 6'5". I'm like 6'5" with my shoes on. I gotta throw in that. People give me shit for that. But yeah, that's what I want to do with that money. That's why I was asking for donations to do that, because it's taken me forever to do it, and I really hate to come on here and ask for money. That's why I told my whole story. So another thing that happened, I did leave out, is when I moved here from Florida, I said, I'm gonna start doing things right. I'm gonna start. There's a reason my life's been shitty, and that's because I'm not living the way Christ intended. I was like, I noticed people around me, my family, people I know, I was like, if you live the way Christ intended, your life goes so much better. And even people who are Christian, I'm not saying that all Christian people's lives are better, but generally people who live a Christian life live a better life. And doing grimy shit, being involved in drugs, and doing all kinds of stuff, not living right, gets you fucked up in life, you know. So when I moved here, I started going to church on the weekends with my parents, and I wanted to keep that momentum. And then when me and my ex got back together, I had a hard time balancing doing that, and I kind of put it to the side. And I didn't stop believing in God, but I didn't make God a priority. And that's one thing I wanted. That's why I started reading the Bible when we broke up, when she left me. I started reading the Bible. I've read more than halfway. I started watching online sermons. Started to learn about Orthodoxy. Now I want to visit an Orthodox church. I want to become a catechumen and go to a liturgy and all that. I can't. I've looked up 2 churches nearby, but I haven't had the chance to make it to one. I can barely afford to do anything. I can barely afford to go to church with my mom on the weekend because I need to take that day to work as much as I can, and I'm usually working the night before on Saturday, coming home at like 4 in the morning, and too tired to get up and go to church, only with a couple hours of sleep. But anyways, I forgot to mention that, so I want to throw that in there. But I'm trying to. I have all the wisdom to live life the right way. I have 8 years I've been clean for 8 years, doing the right thing. I used to get hair follicle tests. Like, I don't do drugs. I don't have the opportunity to do drugs. I don't even know where to buy drugs around here. I wouldn't even know where to get them. I don't even want to try. I don't want to overdose on fentanyl. I've been getting hair follicle tests and drug tests through the clinic I've gone to for 8 years, and hair follicle tests through the truck companies I worked with. I've been clean for 8 years. So I've been clean. I've gotten kind of fucked up in life financially, and not see, when I got back with my ex, I either should have got married to her, or I should have never gotten back with her. I fucked up there. I should have made reading the Bible every day a priority. I should have took my faith seriously. I'm trying to do that now. It's really hard to balance everything. That's why I need to get my health and my fitness straightened out so much, so I can do everything I need to do in a day and be fine doing it, have time to do it, have the strength and energy to do it. So that's my plan. I don't know how else to say it. I need to come up with $300 to get the alignment. I need a new tire, used tire or 2. I need a ball joint. I need a new battery, all for the car, so I can sell the car and try to make like $1,200-$1,300. I was going to try to sell it for 15. I probably won't get that. If I can sell it for like 13 or 12, then I can make 900 or 1,000 off of it. But if I make this GiveSendGo, I'm gonna put the limit at 2,000. But really, if I could just make at least 300 to try to fix the car and sell it. But if anyone wants to donate more, they can donate more, and I will pay everyone back who donates to me. I will, if you give me your email, I'll keep track of it. I'll write it down. I'll keep track of who donates what, and I will pay back everyone who donates to me. Plus, I will match dollar for dollar whatever anyone donates to me to a Christian charity, a vetted Christian charity, where the money is actually going to go to what we want it to go to, for maybe a children's hospital, or maybe I might even think about donating it to like an Orthodox charity or cause or church or something like that. But definitely it's going to go to a Christian cause. So that's my idea, So I've told my story. A lot of the shit, how I ended up where I'm at, is my fault. A lot of the majority of it's my fault. Some of it's just the way I was raised, the fucked up things life's thrown at me. I've gotten help along the way. I need a little bit more help. I believe if I can go to the gym, I could probably go lose like 80 pounds, 60 to 80 pounds easily. I can get back to the point where I can run a mile without stopping. I can get my energy back, my stamina. I can get up every day. I can get shit done. I can get my circulation better in my legs, my hands, my arms. I can get my health back. I can keep up with it. I can go back. I can work more. I can get things done around the house in the same day without it slowing me way down. I can do a lot of things around here I've been putting on the back burner because I just can't do it. Not in the shape I'm in. And I can get back to truck driving, and I can stay on a strict diet truck driving. I can find a way to exercise out on the road. I can go back to making $1,200 a week easily. I used to make between like $800 and $1,200 a week pretty easily, but at the most I ever made was like $1,350 I made one week. So there's potential to make a lot of money. And all I need to do, I still have my endorsements for the tanker and the hazmat. I just have to go get re-fingerprinted. I might have to take the test over. But you keep the combo endorsement, combination endorsement, and water tanker endorsement forever. I get my license forever as long as I keep up with my medical card every 5 years. I just have to get a new medical card, so I just got to go get a DOT physical and get back to work. And all I need is like 3 months to hit the gym and get my health back and get back to work truck driving, and I can pay everyone back, and I can make the money to donate to a Christian charity. And I say that as a incentive for people to help me, because it's not just a handout, a donation. It's helping me get back on my feet, and then me paying it back, me paying it forward. So that's my idea. I know this video is way too long. The last fucking video I made was way too long, and I ended it. I might post it anyways because it told the story of my life up until the point where I kind of started this video, even though I gave a little bit of info how I grew up and shit. But so I'm gonna post this to my Twitter. I'm gonna make the GiveSendGo, and then if they want to watch this video, they can watch this video. Honestly, this isn't gonna cut it. I'm gonna have to make another video. Maybe I'll post this one so everyone can watch it. I'm really tired right now. If you can't tell, it's like 5 in the morning. I need to get to bed. I made another video earlier. It's like 2 hours long. This one's an hour long. It's insane. Maybe y'all can watch it on 2x and get through it in 30 minutes. But I'm gonna post this to my Twitter. You can watch it on 2x or faster. I'm gonna make the GiveSendGo. I'm gonna post a link to this video on there, and then maybe I'll make another shorter video. Okay, thank you so much, whoever donates. I appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.